The wind rolled across the dry Wyoming plains, carrying with it the scent of sagebrush and the promise of a storm. Elena Hart heard the rumble long before she saw the rider, a tall silhouette cutting clean through the gold-red horizon, the kind of man who made the land look smaller just by crossing it. Cole Maddox, the richest rancher in 3 counties. A man carved from dust, danger, and discipline. A man her father owed more money than they would ever see in 10 lifetimes. And now he was riding straight toward their failing homestead. Elena wiped the sweat from her brow, though it did nothing to calm the tightness clawing at her chest. The barn behind her leaned like it was too tired to stand anymore. The fence posts were worn and split. Everything they owned was weathered down, except her stubborn heart. Her father sat on the porch, his breath wheezy, his hands trembling from a lifetime of hard work and one too many mistakes. Elena stepped in front of him instinctively, crossing her arms as the cowboy approached. Cole slowed his stallion, boots hitting the earth with soft, controlled thuds. Dust settled around him like he commanded even the land to hush. "Elena," he greeted, tipping his hat just slightly. His voice was deep, steady, too steady for a man who held her family's fate in one gloved hand. "Mr. Maddox." She swallowed, keeping her chin high. "Come to take what little we have left?" A muscle ticked in his jaw. "Not why I'm here." "You want the house? The land? The cattle?" she pressed. "Fine. Just leave my father be." Cole's gaze softened in a way that made her breath falter. "I'm not here for your father." Her heart stammered. "Then what?" His eyes, storm gray and sharp, held hers. "You." Her breath caught like a lasso had cinched tight around her ribs. That couldn't mean what she feared or hoped. The wind whispered between them. Her father coughed weakly, a reminder of the misery looming over their small, failing ranch. Elena clenched her fists. "I won't let you take me as payment." A hint of heat flashed through Cole's gaze. "Darlin', if you think I'd ever take you against your will, you don't know me at all." "I don't know you," she shot back. "Then maybe it's time you did." Inside the house, her father lay asleep, too sick to stand. Elena sat across from Cole at the small wooden table, her fingers wrapped around a chipped cup that had belonged to her mother. Cole sat tall, hat in his hands, expression unreadable beneath the lantern light. "How much?" she whispered. "How much does he owe?" Cole looked at her, long and quiet, before he answered. $23,000. Her stomach twisted. That number may as well have been the entire world. "I'll pay it," she said, even though she had no plan, no money, no hope. "I'll find work." "Oh." "You'll run yourself into the ground," Cole said softly. "You're already halfway there." His eyes traveled over her, the worn dress, the calloused hands, the exhaustion she tried to hide. Not judgment. Just seeing. "I'm offering something else," he said. She stiffened. He leaned forward, elbows resting on his knees. "Come work for me." She blinked. "Work? Doing what?" "Manage the Maddox Ranch house. Cook when needed. Organize supplies. Help with the horses if you're up for it." His voice lowered. "Just be there." Her cheeks warmed at the way he said it. "You'd live on my land," he continued. "Be close enough to help your father. I'll hire a doctor to check on him twice a week. And the debt," his thumb brushed the edge of his hat. "It disappears." "Just like that?" she whispered. "Just like that." "Why me?" Cole paused, and for a moment, the controlled, unshakable rancher looked almost human. "I've been alone on that ranch a long time," he said. "Too long. Your father's mess ain't your fault. And you deserve better than breaking yourself on dying land." He met her gaze directly. "Let me help." Her breath trembled. "What do you get out of it?" His eyes softened. "You. Not as property. Not as payment. As someone he wanted close." Elena moved to Maddox Ranch 2 days later, leaving behind the broken fences and despair she'd grown up with. Cole's land stretched wide beneath the Wyoming sun, miles of rolling fields, towering red bluffs, a ranch house bigger than anything she'd ever stepped into. Cowboys tipped their hats. Horses snorted at her presence. And Cole? Cole watched her like a man who had gained something he never thought he'd have. He never overstepped. Never ordered her around. If anything, he treated her like she held more power than he did. She cleaned, organized, cooked, helped in the stables, and learned the rhythm of a ranch that actually thrived. And every night, Cole walked her to her room, but never crossed the doorway. One evening, after a long day of tending to a colicky mare, she found him waiting on the porch, arms folded, moonlight brushing his shoulders. "You did good today," he said. Elena laughed tiredly. "I smelled like mare sweat for half the afternoon." He smiled, a real one, rare and warm. "Smelled like hard work to me." She leaned on the railing, looking across the dark fields. "Why did you help me?" she asked softly. "Really?" Cole didn't move. "Your father made a bad deal. Happens. But you," he looked at her like she was a miracle. "You walked out in front of him when I rode up. Ready to face me alone. Ready to lose everything just to protect him." Elena swallowed. "I ain't seen loyalty like that since my mother died," he said, voice roughened by memory. "And I ain't about to let a woman like that drown on a piece of land that ain't giving her nothing." Silence fell between them. Then he whispered, barely audible, "Truth is, I wanted you long before the debt." Her heart thudded. "Cole." He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a whisper that curled around her like a brand-warm promise. "The only thing I want is you." A week later, the storm arrived. Thunder cracked over the ranch like 1,000 gunshots. Horses spooked in their pens. Wind knocked tools to the ground. Rain turned the earth to soup. Elena rushed outside with a lantern. "Cole, the cattle in the south pasture." "I know," he yelled over the howling wind as he saddled his horse. "Stay inside." She glared at him. Not a chance. His jaw tightened at her defiance, then softened, like he couldn't help himself. "Fine. Stay close." They rode through the storm, battling wind and lightning, her hands gripping the reins until her knuckles screamed. Cattle bawled in panic, pressing against broken fencing. A flash of lightning lit the sky, and a young bull charged toward them. "Elena!" Cole grabbed her bridle just in time, jerking her horse aside. Mud splashed, hooves thundered, her breath ripped from her chest. Before she could catch it again, he was off his horse, pulling her down into his arms. "You okay?" His voice shook, not from fear of the storm, but fear of losing her. "I'm fine," she breathed, trembling. "You ain't," he growled softly, pressing his forehead to hers, rain streaking down his face. "I almost lost you." Her fingers gripped his shirt. "You won't." Lightning cracked again, but this time she wasn't afraid. Not with him. He pulled her closer, his breath warm against her ear. "Darlin', I ain't never wanted someone like this." "Then don't let go," she whispered. He didn't. The next morning dawned clear, the storm broken. Cole stood with her in the barn doorway, sunlight spilling across the hay. He took her hands in his, large, calloused, gentle. "Elena Hart," he said quietly, "I don't want you working here because of a debt. I want you because